So where do we start? Some of us say the issue is too big. Others say that the issue is actually pretty simple. Let's go a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. But on this channel, I prefer to talk about why I think it is important to our community, African Americans or Black people, however you want to identify with yourself. Why I think it's important to Black people specifically. Black folks now, I, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I haven't come across many Black folks who are informed about this issue who side with Israel. I think I'm honestly not surprised by that. To me, is obvious unless you're new here in America and you're just like you have no idea about the culture of Black people. We've always identified with Palestinians. We will always, I'm pretty sure, identify with Palestinians because prior to October 7th, I think we all really there was the these the collective understanding of what was happening in Israel and Palestine before October 7th was that it was an apartheid state. There was no confusion about that. To the overwhelming majority of Black folks in America, this just looks like an old colonial outpost that America just don't want to let go. They just can't let this idea of white supremacy go. They have to hold on to it. And I think a lot of us who study our history and understand what it looked like in America, what it looked like in kind of like South Africa, that's what we see. We see America picking and choosing to be on the wrong side of history again when it comes to how we deal with racism and colonialism and how people view white supremacy. Now I know a lot of my Jewish brothers and sisters are gonna say, well, we're Jewish, like of course we're not gonna believe in white supremacy, but like that's exactly it. You are passable as white folks, and it seems like Zionism is becoming much more attached to this idea of whiteness and um these Israelis as being more civilized and Muslim and brown people being primitive, and this like it just reeks of all of that. It's no surprise that people like Breonna Joy Gray and Mark Lamont Hill have emerged in our community as well. What I mean, people who become really good arbiters of information about a lot of these issues. I mean, he gave a really good analogy on the Breakfast Club.
There is a law of proportionality in international law. That is to say that I can only use force to the extent that it fulfills my military mission. In other words, if we're at war and you shoot at me and I shoot at you, I can't shoot the whole block up. Mm-hmm. I can't. That's just common hood sense. Like you can't just shoot up the whole block because you got beef with one person. Mm-hmm. You can't, right? And international law protects that logic.
Real simple. Real simple. I put out a video when this first happened. This was one of the last videos I put out from last year, and it was obviously Hamas is wrong, and or something like that. But I think the tone of that video was, yeah, they're wrong, but we all know what Israel's about to do, and here we stand, a short 3 months later. And I haven't watched that video in a while, but I'm sure I'm not wrong about what I thought Israel was gonna do. And here we stand with about, I don't know, 100,000, 90,000 people. I think is the last report I saw, wounded, killed, or missing. They just like they have common terms that everybody knows, like mow the lawn, which effectively means when they do something that Israel deems a terrorist attack, they go and get rid of as many Palestinians as they can and take their land. They've already done things like rationed food, stop the flow of food, stop the flow of medical supplies, shut off water, shut off electricity. And these are things that are done, were done before October 7th and have been done again, I'm assuming. And they use the justification of this is war.
If Israel is targeting Hamas in a refugee camp and it's pinpointing its attacks on Hamas and there is collateral damage, there's collateral damage. That's war. That's called war. WAR. That's what it is.
Now, I'm not jacking that. I'm really not. That's an excuse, in my opinion, given the history of this conflict, given how much information has come out about how this whole entire situation has developed. And I thought I knew a good amount about it before. I know a crap ton about it now. It floods my time. I don't know anybody who pays attention to stuff who doesn't really understand what's going on. I mean, hell, just watch 3 interviews with Norm Finkelstein and watch how people's arguments crumble like cotton candy in the rain when this dude debates them or talks about these issues. They and then they begin to get so upset to the point where you think that their heads are gonna explode or smoke's gonna come out of their ears when he talks to them, you know. But Mark Lamont Hill continues to shine in questioning when he asks these people these tough, complex yet simple to understand issues. But these people seem to be suffering from a cognitive dissonance that they just I don't know, they just don't understand. They just don't hear the question, or they're so upset or so reeling with rage and revenge that they can't see past collective punishment being wrong. They can't see past the humanity of a child. And you want me to sympathize with 1,200 people being killed, but you can't sympathize with 90,000? Like, I'm a free thinking person. That sounds weird to me. If you want me to care about the innocent life you lost, you should definitely care about 10 times, 20 times that number being lost, most of them being children.
Targets that are deemed untargetable by international law. These are the questions. Just to give you one example, and I'd love your response to this. So, the UN called Israel's bombing of the Jabalia refugee camp, quote, a brazen violation of international law and a war crime. So clearly the international community isn't in entire agreement with you here.
Yeah, look, Mark, I don't really care what the UN says. I mean, the UN has not been fair about this issue for the last 50 years. Here is the reality. Under international law, Israel has a right to attack Hamas. Under international law, when you attack an enemy, when you target an enemy, to the extent that there is collateral damage against civilians, it's not against, Mark, you're interrupting me.
No, I'm asking, it's a clarifying question. What law? What law? You said, what law?
I said under the international laws of war.
What international?
Mark,
I'm asking because I'm appealing to your expertise. What international rules of war say that you can attack Hamas in the way that the Israeli state has? Which one?
Every single law of war says.
I need you to name one. Sir, that's not an honest answer. Which one? Just saying international law doesn't make it one. The international law is not a magic book. Which international law?
There is a body of international law that deals with collateral damage. Israel is not targeting a single civilian. They're targeting Hamas. Wherever they identify Hamas, they attack Hamas. If Hamas is embedded with children, Israel will do everything it can to avoid those casualties. I've been in the war room. I've been in the war room when Israel has attacked Hamas back in 2019. Okay, I saw the pains that they take to avoid civilian casualties. Israel has no interest, they have no upside in attacking children. It's the worst thing that could happen to them in this battle because it then results in international handcuffs being placed on their battle. It's not what Israel
has failed at this effort, and I think somewhere upwards to about like 6,000 children have been killed. So, save it. I can't be nice about it. I won't It's disgusting to watch grown men justify children dying and then try to tell you in your face, like literally look at you in your face, lie to you and tell you that we're trying to protect the children. What? What? This is what we talk. This is it is akin to when you come across a police officer, they have all of the power to control the situation, escalate or de-escalate the situation, and then at a routine traffic stop, or when they're dealing with a 11-year-old or a 66-year-old woman, or a man who tells you that he has a gun license and a gun in the car and that he's going to go get his wallet, not the gun, you shoot him anyway. It is akin to that. And this is why we have this solidarity with you people who tend to lie in our faces. Now, mind you, these Jewish brothers and sisters, please don't misunderstand, not all of them think this way. I do not want to set the expectation that black people should not identify the fact that there are Jewish people out here who do not bang with this at all. Which shows me that there's at least real humanity within this community, and they're not all delusional crazy persons, but these people are attempting to just wholesale put the blinders on. Then we have, Mark Lamont Hill is literally one of our most foremost experts on how we can view this complex and non-complex issue. Then next you have, of course, I love her to death, my dear sister Brianna Joy Gray, who just be cooking them. She be looking, interviewing, you food. She interviews Alan Dershowitz, one of the most disgusting human beings of all time, who I personally can't stand. But this dear sister receives hellish backlash from this goblin of a person.
Filibustering. Well, Israel has given a right to return to people from the bus. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. You accuse me, sir. You accuse me of filibustering. Well, Israel has given a right to return to people from the Jewish diaspora who have no personal ties to Israel at all. But
many. But let me.
Professor Dershowitz,
let's each get a final word in on this subject.
I haven't even asked my question. I wanted to ask it to wrap it up.
You don't ask questions. You express points of view. You should be a guest, not a host.
That's fine. Well, that's why I'm going to ask you this following question. Norm Finkelstein who is an expert on this issue, has offered to debate you. If I could just ask this, Professor Dershowitz.
His heart, every part of his heart, to see these murders, rapes. How dare you cite Norman Finkelstein? He's a bigot, an anti-Semite, and a supporter of Hamas. Isn't he?
All right. Well, no, I actually think that he's a renowned scholar whose parents survived the Warsaw Ghetto and is the foremost authority on what's going on in Gaza. But I wanted to put to you, would you be willing to have a longer form?
My son can't take it. My son can't. He can't take that he's talking to a free-thinking black woman.
Conversation with Norm Finkelstein either here or in another format of a show to unpack some of these debates.
I already have done that. I did it on the Piers Morgan show, and he just monopolized the whole conversation. He went 14 minutes, and I was given only 8 minutes.
Well,
I would only do it at a clock and the exact amount of time accorded to everyone. Then I might do it. But I'm not going to do it with getting 14 minutes.
I agree that Professor Finkelstein can be a little long-winded. I would be happy to host an unbounded, time-bounded conversation of that type with the two of you if you were willing.
Let me be very clear. You are not a moderator. I will do it with you as an opponent. I will have a debate with you moderated by the gentleman on the other side. But you're not a moderator. You're an advocate.
Don't let it get you like that, Alan. Don't let it get you like that, bro. Come on. Bro, listen. Look at yo, look at my sis face, B. Yo, look at her face, bro. She's been cooking them up because a lot of what Breonna Joy Gray is bringing to the table by ways of information, her and Mark Lamont Hill bringing in ways of information, it is a lot of common sense. It's a lot of logical thinking as to how we got to this point. And what Breonna Joy Gray points out so well on her show, please check it out if you get a chance. I be talking about bad. What's that show called? Bad Faith podcast. A lot of good interviews and a lot since this Israel and Palestine thing has happened. There's been tons of good information and points of view on how to understand this issue. And I think she's laughing and she's smiling the way she is because she knows she's at this point probably an expert on it because she's talked to everyone about it. And because we can think for ourselves and black people have a unique idea and understanding and experience with this kind of discrimination and oppression, we know something about it. And I think a lot of Jewish brothers and sisters who have enjoyed, the privilege of their whiteness can't really understand because they to most Anglo-Saxon, just true blue patriot Americans, people, they don't really like the Jews. So they think that we should just be siding with them on this one. This is just about regular discrimination. But black people understand this is a systemic issue. And we can't continue to feed into the idea in the lifeblood of white supremacy, which is like Zionism is just, at this point, it's not a favorable issue for anybody at all. Nobody's banging with that who believes in human rights. Based on what Israel's doing. Israel is doing this. Israel's making you guys look bad. I mean, if you paid attention to our diaspora in any way, shape, or form, you would understand that we wouldn't bang with this. Look at what South Africa is doing. They are attempting to hold Israel accountable right now in international criminal court. And Israel can't take it. They have to call around and say, hey, you guys have to condemn this. Because South Africa's being unreasonable. We're just defending ourselves. Israel has a right to defend itself. No, people have rights to defend themselves. Israel is a nation state. Nation states don't have rights to exist. People have rights to exist. Jeez, Lou. It's much lighter than the last video I did. A lot more information has come out. I'm grateful for these pillars in our community who are fighting the good fight, attempting to bring liberation to, or bring awareness to this liberation fight. We have to do all that we can to ensure that we give protections for these people and that we can stop sending our money over to a place that does not give a damn about humans or human rights and that want to genocide a whole people. Please vote. Please run for office. Please work in your communities and work to get your communities to support and rally around one another. Because we have to fix this problem. Jeez, hello. These people's heads are exploding when asked a simple question. It's like as if they never expected anybody to ask them shit. Like, what is going on? Guys, it is the Center Podcast. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much for stopping back by. Like and subscribe. Comment. Get engaged. It helps with the algorithm. It helps me beat the algorithm. Share it. If I'm wrong and you think I'm an idiot, please tell me. I'm cool with that. I actually respond to a lot of comments. I love getting the love and the hate and the hate and the love. It's fine. I mean, I don't love the hate. I'm a lover. Love warrior, by the way. I assure you, I don't want to hate anybody. I just be joking around. We got more videos coming. Thanks for coming back. We'll see you again in a moment. This is Center Podcast, guys.